This building was steeped in history, a rich history, but it had been derelict and it become an eyesore within the local community. It got a bit of a bad reputation. So the town council had a vision and a passion to try and do something with this. So what we've been able to do is bring together the Lancashire Environment Fund, a grant from Lancashire County Council for wellbeing, and Nelson Town Council gave a grant of £50,000 to bring this all together. I think the important thing here is that what we've done is kept the history of the building together and is become and will become a hub for the local community, and hopefully people, whether whichever race or part in Nelson they're from, will be able to come here for a cup of coffee, a meal, or just to get together and have a social, and it becomes somewhere where people can gather and enjoy themselves.
My interest in Unity Hall has been primarily to bring back facilities to the community of Nelson, to the people of Nelson that have been taken away. So this is an ideal opportunity to bring back a derelict building for the community of Nelson for lots of wellbeing projects.
I was a little nervous at the beginning, considering that it was such a big project for not a lot of money to begin with. We bought the building for £1, and I don't think anybody can essentially argue why we didn't buy it for £1. And given that we now turned the project around, it's a very proud moment for me and our team at Nelson Town Council. This was one of those integral projects which we couldn't turn a blind eye to. It was a building, as I've already said, which we purchased for £1. The value that it will return back to this community will be second to none.
So the Unity Hall Wellbeing Centre is going to be a facility that we can use for some of our health and wellbeing projects that we've linked up with Lancashire County Council for, with some of the community projects that we're in partnership with the Town Council for. And today you've seen the different demographics, the different people. I was chatting to a guy who was telling me about the 1920s, so it's just a great chance for people within the community to get together and that sort of social cohesion that can come through having facilities like this, because to be honest with you, around here there's not really been anything for anybody for a long time.
It's really interesting to see what's happened to this place now, and I'm so pleased that the building has been brought back to life again. In 1908, when they were thinking of building this building, they decided to have a bazaar. It was a great big event, and from that event they made £600, which was the foundation for purchasing and building this building. All raised from working people. Working people who in the main were in the mills, not earning great salaries, but had the enthusiasm to continue this socialist work in this area.
So I help an organisation called Q Foundation, who are hoping to run activities in the evenings, over the weekends. So I'm, being a community person, and I also work for a local high school. I'm the youth and community manager there at Marsden Heights Community College. So all those things incorporated together has been the perfect recipe for me to be a part of a project like this.
We essentially work with young people to try to develop their values and empower them to be able to do better for their communities, for themselves. We're looking at this building to be able to provide us with a hub in our area, which we haven't had up to now, and to have a base where we can deliver some of our projects from.
Calico is a local housing provider based in Burnley. We're set up as a housing provider, but we've diversified into supporting communities, helping people get back on their feet. So this is our second site we've opened in East Lancashire. We've opened one in Burnley last year, and this is a community group and activity working alongside Nelson Town Council. And it's an opportunity to support local people to address some social issues. So we've been lucky enough to get some funding to have a high-spec kitchen in here. Our intention is to set up a Being Good community coffee shop, and we work with an organisation called Fair Share, which is a national organisation that's around distributing foods that would have previously gone to landfill and gone to waste. And we're able to transfer that into home-cooked food through our community cafe model.
I think the people who have come together to make this happen deserve a lot of credit, and I think by speaking to some of the people who are here today, I think there's a really good chance that a lot of groups are going to work to make this a really successful project.
Well, I think it's a fantastic building. I think they've done a really good job here of doing it all up, and it's a building that's going to come back into the community.
We're just glad now that we've been able to get the funding to bring it back to life for people to use.
It will hopefully be a success, and we will do our best to contribute towards that success.
I'm really glad the Parish Council have actually invested the time and money in order to bring it back to life, because it's going to be a tremendous resource for the local community.
This is a building that's for the community and for services in Nelson, so it's a big win-win for everybody.